Dalana B here, and welcome back to my channel. Yes, you guys have seen this shirt before. You've seen it in Makeup Monday. That's okay. I am batch filming today. Today is actually Sunday. No, today is actually Saturday. But who cares? The video is going up. I'm giving you what you need. In this video, we are going to talk about fixing your credit. In last week's Talk About It Thursday, I kind of gave you guys the process and 5 tips on how to buy a home, because I told you guys that by the time you see this video will be up on Thursday. So tomorrow, which is Friday, will be me being a 1-year homeowner. So I wanted to give you guys some tips that I use that helped me buy my home, and I was able to purchase my home, build it from the ground up, as well as have a turnaround and ready to close within 2 to 3 weeks. So if you guys are interested in how to fix your credit, then keep on watching. Okay, so for starters, if you are not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can be a part of the Unit Tribe. Make sure that you turn on the notification bell so that you do not miss an upload whenever I upload. So yeah, now that we've got the semantics out of the way, let's just go ahead and jump into the meat of why you are here. So for starters, what you want to do is when you're trying to fix your credit, you want to first pray. Y'all know that's my thing. That's my theme. You got to pray through the process. Say you a nice prayer. You and God get on the same page, and then you come up with a plan. So next, what you want to do is, I have my phone here because I wanted to make sure that I got everything down for you guys. Next, what you want to do is you want to download your credit report. So you're going to want all 3 reports. You're going to want TransUnion, Equifax, as well as Experian. You can download those from their respective sites, or you can use what I like to use, my FICO, and it'll give you your credit report as well as your scores. I think that the credit bureaus will give you your scores as well, but you're going to pay a price for each individual report rather than with my FICO. You would just pay one fee and then you'll get all of your reports. Once you've gotten your reports, you want to sit down with your pen and paper, highlighter, whatever it is that you like to use, and you want to go through and look at it from every single aspect. You want to first look at your personal information. Now, a lot of people think that that does not matter. It does. When I looked at my credit report, they had my name wrong. They had my birthday wrong. They had addresses from long time ago. They had addresses that I hadn't even stayed at. And mind you, I was in the military, so I moved quite a lot. So they had so many different things on my credit report that weren't even accurate. So what you want to do is you want to look at your personal information, and you want to see anything that is not correct. Let's just say, for instance, they have your first name and the wrong middle initial and then your last name. Like for me, they had different names. They had my name backwards, so they would have my last name, first name, so it was backwards. It had my birthday incorrect, so they had the month and the day correct, but then they had the year incorrect. So you want to make sure that all of those things are correct across the board, because what that does is, let's say for instance you go and you apply for a credit card. Well, the credit card comes back denied because your information within the credit bureaus don't match what you put on the application. So that can sometimes look like fraud, or it can look like identity theft. So you want to make sure that you're getting that stuff taken care of. A lot of the times you're getting denied for something not because your credit is jacked up, but because the information on the credit report is incorrect. So you want to go ahead, call up those credit bureaus, which will be I'm going to go over a little bit later, but you want to call those credit bureaus, get all of that information taken care of, and sometimes it will boost up your credit score. Now, it may not boost it up a lot. I saw a vary in my score when I did all of that, just that little bit there. I did have a little bit of a boost. So that can either give you a boost or it'll plateau it, whatever the case may be. You want to get that information updated so that it'll benefit you in the long run. Next tip is finding the contact info for all 3 credit bureaus. So you're going to want their phone numbers, and you're also going to want their addresses. The reason being, it's a lot of talking on the phone if you're fixing your own credit. It's a lot of talking on the phone. It's a lot of paper trail. It's a lot of letters back and forth. It's a lot of communication. It's a lot of work, but it's so worth it in the end. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have an accurate number and an accurate address. When you call, I recommend that you call in the afternoon, right before it's time for them to close. Reason being, they're a little bit more willing to change things because they're ready to go. I've had success doing that, using that as my strategy. I would come home from work, I would sit down, get my notebook, pencil, go down the list of things that I needed to change, call them. I would be home about 5, 6 o'clock. A lot of them are on the East Coast, so by that time it's about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and they're getting ready to shut down. They're trying to get out of there, so they're trying to move really fast. Another quick tip when you're calling these credit bureaus, ask for an American. Now, the reason why I say that is because a lot of the times you don't understand them and they're not understanding you. So if you get a call, you get someone on the phone and it's someone that is not American, it's okay. Ask to speak to an American. If they don't want to send you to someone else, just hang up and call right back. That's another thing. If you're calling and someone is a little bit hesitant to do what you're asking them to do, because most times I've had success with, well, I've had good people on the phone that's willing, and I've had unwilling people as well. What I do is I hang up and I call right back, because you're not going to get the same person every single time you call. So if you have someone that has done something for you and you need something else done and they're not willing to do it, hang up, call right back. That method works. Try it. I'm telling you, it works. Same thing with the when you're mailing stuff, because you're going to have to mail some stuff, which is going to be my next tip. You're going to have to mail some things, so you want to make sure that you have the correct address. So, being that I've already done this, I'm going to link the stuff down in the description box for you guys, so you don't even have to go and look for it. You're welcome. Merry Christmas. Okay, so now you've got your contact information. You're ready to rock and roll. Looking at your credit report, you want to first start off with your negative items. Well, you can go ahead and look at your good items as well, because you want to make sure that everything on there, whether bad or good, actually belongs to you. You can have things on your credit report that don't even belong to you. So just make sure that everything on there is accurate and it belongs to you. Once you figure that out, anything that's in good standing, we're going to leave that alone. Make sure it stays in good standing, leave it alone. Move on to your negative items. With your negative items, what you want to check for, you want to check for the reason as to why they're negative. Were there late payments, no payments? What is the issue? What was going on? Look at those negative items and see the things. What is it? If it's a late payment, for instance, I had a late payment with my car note. I had never been late. I had one late payment. So what I did was I went directly to the president, CEO of the company. I emailed him. If you go to the website or whatever it is that you're trying to find, if it's a bank, if it's a car loan agency, whatever the case may be, there's a contact for whomever you need to speak to. Reach out. The people are here to help. I reached out. They were there to help. They removed it. Quick and simple. It's, like I said, it's a lot of back and forth, a lot of communication, but for the most part, they're willing to help. Now, I did have to explain to them why it was late, but once I explained that, then, we were good to go. And what that's called is a goodwill letter. You can either write it, email it, whatever the case may be, but you want to do a goodwill letter. And sometimes they will, they'll retract it or whatever. If they don't, then we're going to move into 609s and disputes. Before we get to the 609 and disputes, let me see. I don't want to jump. We're going to first see if those negative accounts, the dates. Look at your dates. Look at the date that it was first reported as well as the date that it last reported. You want to look at that because you want to see if any of those dates, more times than not the latter, you want to make sure that it's not within 7 years. A negative account or a collection will fall off after the 7th year. Now, let's just say you have a negative account that is due to expire in 6 months. Leave it alone. Let it expire. Unless it's something that you're trying to do, like you're trying to buy a house next week, you're not going to be able to do that if your credit is already jacked up. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that to be, truthful. If your credit is not where it needs to be, you're going to have at least 30 to 45 days before anything gets cleared up anyways. So if it's like a 6-month thing, leave it alone. It'll fall off. When they're looking at it, they'll see, okay, cool, this is going to fall off. This is something that we don't have to deal with. What people are looking for when they're looking at your credit and to see how you match up to another person, they're looking to see if you pay on time. They're looking to see if you have late payments. They're looking to see if you're utilizing the credit. They're looking to see if you're paying the credit. I don't know if I said that, but they're looking to see if you're paying the credit. They're looking to see if you are trustworthy. I don't agree with the system as far as the credit system goes because we are not a number, but this is the world that we live in. So just make sure, look at the dates and see if it's within 7 years. If it is not, let's just say it's a collection or an account, a negative account that is only a year or two, then you're gonna want to do these few steps. You're gonna want to see if you have any duplicates. Now, on your credit report, you can have one account reporting to one credit bureau. Then you can have another account reporting to another credit bureau, but the amounts will be totally different. So you want to get all of that stuff accurate so that you can know once you're going in to talk to whomever you need to speak to, you'll have accurate information. A lot of the times, a credit report will have an account that is open, but then it'll have it in a collection, because the credit reports are not talking to one another and they're not updating the accounts as they need to. So this is why you really want to make sure that you're checking your credit at least once a month, especially if you have an end goal of something that you're trying to achieve, because credit is king in the US. Once you see that there are no duplicates, then you want to move into your charge-off and your collections. Now, with charge-offs and collections, that's basically an account that you had with someone that you didn't pay it or whatever the case may be, and then it goes to a collection. Normally, collections, they buy these accounts pennies on a dollar. So let's just say you owe someone $300, the original creditor. By the time the debt collector collects it and buys it, it's probably like $30. Math might be a little off, but you get what I'm trying to say. So when you're looking to pay these collections off, if that's the route that you choose to take, you're going to want to negotiate with these people. You're not going to want to pay their full amount because they did not buy it for that amount. But before you pay any collection, any negative item, you want to dispute it. Now, I would not recommend that you dispute it online, just because when you dispute it online, they can easily send that through the system, because it is going through a system, and they can easily come back and say that the debt is verified and that it is yours. Now, I am not telling you that if you have a debt that really belongs to you that you're not going to pay it. I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you to cheat the system in any kind of way. What I am saying is you can get it removed so that you can get the goal that you're trying to obtain quicker. Okay? So what you want to do is, let's just say I've got an account with Macy's. Okay? Macy's says I owe them however amount of money. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send Macy's a 609 letter. I'm not going to send that through the system. I'm going to handwrite it. I'm going to handwrite it. Not only am I going to handwrite it, I'm going to handwrite it in blue. Let me tell you why. If you send it through in black, they'll just send it and scan it through a computer. They'll scan it through a machine. Now, that machine is going to be able to pick that up. But if you write it, it's hard for the machine to really tell what it is that you're saying. Right? Don't type it either, because type is just plain text. But if you write it, depending on your handwriting, it'll make it hard for a machine to read it. So then what happens is an actual person will have to read what it is that you sent to them. See where I'm going with this? So if an actual person has to read it, if they've gotten all these letters on their desk, they're not going to have time to go through all that stuff. So what happens? Each credit bureau, once you submit a dispute, they have 30 days to either verify the debt or take it off of your credit report. If I'm Billy Bob Joe and I have 1,500 claims on my desk, I've got 30 days to read through all of these claims and get them off my desk. You really think I'm going to read through 1,500 claims? No. Somebody is not going to get to it, or somebody I'm just going to say, okay, that's not verified. And when I say verified, they have to send you back a contract that you sign with whomever the company is, agency or whatever, that you guys have a legal agreement with one another. So if they cannot provide that to you, they have to drop it within 30 days. That's another thing that I should have told you guys. Once you do your report, you'll see the account number. Sometimes it'll just be XXXXX. You can just put the last whatever 4 numbers, whatever it is on your credit report. That's what you're gonna want to put on your accounts. Let's back up again, because I should have said this as well. When you're submitting your letters, when you're mailing them in, you want to make sure that those letters are certified. You also want to make sure that you have your social security card in there, a copy of it, as well as your driver's license. This way they can tell that you are who you say you are, and it kind of speeds up the process, because if they have to come back and say, hey, are you who you are? Then it kind of slows down your process, and then it starts to counter back all over again. You don't want that. So make sure you have those documents in there, and also make sure that you have your address so that they can return it back to you, as well as your account numbers listed in the body of the email or the body of the letter, so that they can know what accounts it is that they are looking for. If you don't have the numbers, that's fine. Whatever is on there, list the title, the company, as well as the account number, so that they'll know what it is that they're looking for. That's a quick tip. Y'all welcome. All right, so we've gone over disputes. We've gone over 609 letters, which is the same thing. And then we've gone over goodwill letters. That's when you're reaching out to someone, asking them, hey, can you remove this? I was going through a bad time. I didn't mean to do that. Will you delete it? That's what that is. All right, moving on to the one thing that everybody hates and the one thing that seems to boggle everybody down: student loans. I didn't have to really deal with student loans. The military paid for me to go to school, but I've done a lot of research and I've been in groups where people have talked about student loans, and this is what they did to kind of get them not removed, but help them to kind of not be so much of an impact when they're trying to obtain whatever goal it is. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to see if you can get the student loans deferred or in forbearance. Let's back up. You also want to make sure that the student loans are only reporting once. You don't want to have 4 different student loans reporting, but it's the same exact account. You don't want that, because now it's going to look like you just have all these student loans just out there and they're all in a negative account status. That's not what we want. Once you figure out that they are standalone accounts, you want to see about getting them deferred or forbeared. So a deferred loan is an interest accruing. No. A deferred loan is where you have a loan but interest is not accruing on said loan. So you don't have to pay for it right away, and there's no interest accruing on specific loans. Now, I'm not exactly sure on what kind of loan. You will have to do the research on that. But I do know that when a loan is deferred, you do not pay interest on certain ones. Forbearance. Interest does accrue, but they're on pause, or you can get a lower monthly rate. So depending on which way you want to go, more times than not, more people like to get their accounts deferred. That's just kind of a little bit on the difference between the two. Now, when you pick whatever route you choose to take, the credit bureaus will report and it'll show it in a good standing. So either way, whether it's deferred or forbearance, it'll show that it's still in good standing on your credit report. Now, let's just say you're trying to buy a house. Student loans only make up for 1% of your DTI. So just keep that in mind as well. Okay, so whether you choose deferred or a forbearance, you want to see first if you can get them consolidated. If you have multiple loans, try a consolidation plan. What consolidating means is you'll take all of your loans. Let's just say you have 3 $10,000 loans, right? Instead of paying interest on each of those 3, combine them, and now you're only paying interest and a payment on $30,000. That can go a long way. So try and see if you can get them consolidated. If not, see if you can contact whomever you have, Sally Mae or Navient or whoever else, I don't know, whoever is the student loan, agency, collection agency, whatever the case may be. See if you can set up some kind of payment plan that is based on what you make or what you can afford. Now, how you go about doing that, I'm not really sure. You would have to reach out to whomever is holding on to your student loan, and they can kind of help you through that. And then you can kind of just, I'm assuming you will submit some kind of paperwork to show, hey, this is the amount of money that I make, this is what I can afford, and then they'll make your payments based on what you can afford. Or you may be able to pick a number. Not sure. Don't quote me on that. I do not know. But I know that if you call them, they will help you, okay? So, yeah, guys, that was my little bit on how I fix my credit. Some of these elements may not pertain to you. That's perfectly fine. The ones that do, take what you can from it and roll with it. If you guys have some tips that maybe I missed, or some things that, you know, maybe didn't work for you or did work for you, let me know down in the comments. Have a conversation. You guys talk to one another. You guys can help one another as far as this credit journey, because it can be a tedious one. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is not going to be an overnight type thing, okay? I think I started on my credit journey, and it took me about a year to get it where I needed it to be and where I wanted it to be. I didn't just get it where I needed it to be, I got it where I wanted it to be, because I didn't want the bare minimum, right? Because credit is king. Like I said, everybody thinks that cash is king, but it's not. Credit is king. And unfortunately, we're looked upon by three little numbers. So make sure that you have a realistic idea of what this is going to take and how long it's going to take. I know a lot of people, they have these credit repair companies and all this, and they charge fees out the butt for you to let them fix your credit. And sometimes they don't even get the results that you want, and you're continuously shelling out cash, and it's just like, no, you can do this yourself for free or bare minimum, whatever you decide to pay, if you decide to negotiate with the collections. And you know, you can do this yourself, and it's going to be so rewarding because you did this for yourself and you got the results, and now you've got this house, or you've got this car, or you've got this credit card. You know, do the work, guys. Like, I'm big on doing the work. Do your own work and just see how gratifying that will be for you. So that's it. That's all I have for Talk About It Thursday. Next week, I'm going to come back and give you guys some tidbits on, I don't know, something that you guys can use, news you can use. I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have been here this long, why you not subscribed? Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, because I mean, you family now at this point. So go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you follow me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Dalana B _ on Instagram, Dalana B on Facebook. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I will see y'all next week. Toodles!